Hello, YouTube. This is Captain Omni, and I'm coming at you with a new series for the channel, and that is called What Should Have Been. Now, the whole idea with this little topic series that I'm going to be doing is taking a look at things that were planned for a particular franchise, comic, cartoon, TV show, whichever. Things that were planned for, but for whatever reason, just didn't happen. So, and there is a lot of interesting stuff, and while granted some of them aren't winners exactly, there's some that actually I do think, in some form, could have honestly worked. And starting off with, as you can tell by the title, we're starting off with my favorite superhero, Superman. And that is What Should Have Happened, Superman 2000. Now, Superman 2000 is a joint project between Mark Millar, Mark Waid, and Grant Morrison. Now, the idea behind Superman 2000 was to basically reboot Superman without rebooting the DC universe. Basically, the whole idea would be it would involve Mr. Mxyzptlk, who would essentially rewrite Superman's current canon at the time, which would indeed remove Lois Lane as his wife. Basically, one more day scenario, but with Superman, except it somehow makes more sense because a reality warping entity is a major part of Superman's mythos. But that's neither here nor there. Basically, the whole idea behind it was to bring back certain elements of Superman's mythos, and then at the end, go with, and him and Lois get married again, or reveals okay, Lois is back, everything's basically how it was when he got married. The intent was to bring that back at a certain point. But anyway, part of the things that the proposal for Superman 2000 was that basically Superman would be a lot more like his Silver Age self, in the sense of he has more emphasis put on his super intelligence. And the fact that he really is not Clark Kent, in the sense of how Grant Morrison put it in the proposal. Clark Kent died when Superman's power started manifesting, mostly because Clark Kent was a powerless farm boy, while Superman is an alien with senses and abilities that really do alter his perception of reality. So, there's being able to see and detect the mental impulses when his parents changed his mind about something when he was a kid. Basically, Clark Kent is not really it's a disguise for Superman. That's how they put it. Clark Kent is back to being, Superman is back to being, would have been back to disguised as Clark Kent, mild-mannered reporter, that kind of thing. But, however, it is essentially in the sense of he would kind of have to be, because their idea is if you grow up with those kind of enhanced senses and be able to tell all of that stuff, you would kind of... Basically, the whole idea is they wanted to have an alien Superman, but one that is very clearly in love with humanity. He remembers what being human is like. So he kind of goes with that. Which I can't say I'm 100% with, but I do like the idea of. I really do like the idea of that. The second thing is they would have really focused on the fact that, he is just a complete... While he is just completely at ease at all times. Everyone, basically they would describe him as being seemingly not quite there, but clearly more there than even we are, is how they described it. Another thing was that they would essentially give him a new costume, in this case one without the red trunks. The reason I posted the Rebirth costume right here is because apparently that is fairly close to how they wanted him to look. Which, I don't get me wrong, I like the Rebirth costume. I really do. Like, outside the classic, I think the Rebirth costume is a really good, just a really good modern update for Superman's costume. I think he needs it, but still at the same time, I do think it works. The other thing would be a total reinvention of a lot of his villains. And, yeah, so one of them would be the Kryptonite Man. The Kryptonite Man would essentially here be this creature that was mutated, a person that was mutated by a raw form of kryptonite, and like it got under his skin and just started to mutate him into this like kind of almost Hulk-like crystalline creature that basically just wants to destroy things. Well, basically, yeah. So yeah, that's really interesting. The other thing would be Metallo. Metallo would actually be very interesting because what they went with is Metallo is no longer just powered by green kryptonite. He is powered by red kryptonite. Yeah. So basically, like, if Metallo's on the scene, it's not just Superman like having to fight off green kryptonite, like, oh, I'm getting weaker. It would be Superman trying to fight off the random bullshit that red kryptonite can pull, which would be like making him lose his powers, making him more irrational, making him like basically all of this kind of stuff. You know, kind of like a darker, more serious take on what red kryptonite normally caused. The other thing would be Lex Luthor. Now Lex would still be the businessman type. However, what they had planned was he would be an equal mix of the businessman and the mad scientist. Basically, like as they put it, oh yeah, the running the business thing, he's so smart, that takes up about maybe 5 minutes of his day to plan out and actually have someone do. The world of business is so just easy to him that's what he can do. The rest of the time is experimenting and trying to find ways to destroy Superman. They really tried to put Lex on this level of, yes, this is Superman's greatest enemy. However, they also put it with the idea that Superman, just still cares about Lex. He still tries to debate with him, essentially. And there was just some other stuff too, like Bizarro being this intergalactic entity that from the Square Planet, which is essentially like this living entity that if it encounters something from another planet, it ends up copying it and creating a broken, distorted world based around it. And Bizarro, because Superman is Earth's protector, Bizarro becomes the Square World's protector. It's kind of like this more basically Bizarro world, but Lovecraftian. So yeah, I always thought that I kind of like that idea. And yeah, also the other thing is they actually would bring back that the Fortress of Solitude is the ultimate hangout, like the ultimate like clubhouse, basically. Like they really delved into like the idea that Superman just has a lot of like he is the ultimate hobbyist, as they called him, where he's like building inventions and doing and experimenting with trying to map out the Phantom Zone, and just like trying to really reemphasize, basically make the Fortress of Solitude into something as there's enough like iconic stuff inside it as the Batcave, essentially, like which it normally does, but like really what the whole drive was, we want to make. Well, as I said, that we want to make the Fortress of Solitude into something like kids would want play sets of. That kind of thing. Like, just this whole idea of Superman having all of this really cool stuff again. So, yeah, at the end of it, they would have said that, eventually they would have, like, again, gone back to, like, Lois being, them getting married, etc. Um, but at the same time, they like really still want to keep some of those elements to stick. And if you're wondering why some of this sounds familiar, well, because the proposal was turned down, a lot of it got used in Grant Morrison's All-Star Superman. So yeah, so not all of it got thrown away. There's still some nugget of what, and given how good All-Star Superman was, I think there was a chance that this really could have worked as a new status quo for Superman. But anyway, those are just my thoughts. What do you guys think? Do you think the Superman 2000 proposal would have worked? Would you have liked to have seen this version of Superman? Uh, so yeah, comment below. Let me know. Also, link to my Patreon is in the description, and if you join, and if you sign up, you will be able to vote in my next what should have been video will be. Yep. So yeah, keep that in mind. Anyway, this has been Captain Omni, signing off.